What is going on, guys? In this video, we want to show you how we clean our leopard gecko tubs. Selling in the billions each year, Rainbow Mealworms is your one-stop shop for all your insect needs. Their quality feeders and A+ customer service keep me coming back to support the health and growth of all of our animals. Visit them today at rainbowmealworms.net to place your order. Alright, so we're cleaning today and we pulled the very next tub that is up for cleaning. So let me show you what's usually going on. We clean these tubs about every 7 to 10 days. The water bowl will be often dried up. We toss it. The thing that I really like about disposable water bowls is you don't have to worry about the slippery slime and bacteria buildup that happens on water bowls that are not disposable. So if you are using a water bowl that is not disposable, just make sure you take a sponge and clean that bowl so it's no longer slippery. The food bowl will often have mealworms that have turned into beetles. The calcium and vitamin powder will often be old and have like mealworm poo in it and stuff. And so I like to toss it and make it fresh. I like to have a spare tub right here that I could put things to rest, and the gecko will go in there in a second. If you haven't seen our video on how we make our calcium and vitamin mix, I'll leave a link to it in the top right corner here, and please feel free to check that video out. All right, so getting back to the leopard gecko tub, you can see that there is a little bit of poo, feces, and urate buildup on the side there that is touching the tub as well as the lid. So we are going to clean whatever the poo touches. So I'll put this in here for now because I don't want to put it in the clean resting tub over here, but we will put the gecko in that tub. But first I will check for ovulations. This girl is ovulating. If you know what you're looking for, you can see it right there. And so we're going to put her name on the ovulation board here in a second. I'll check the rim to see if there's any poo build up along the rim here. And I don't see any, but I'll show you how I clean the rim. I'll take a paper towel like this, fold it up and spray some water on it. And I'm just going to hit that rim. This is so that I don't have to dump the Eco Earth since it's still good and clean. And I don't have to take it to the bathroom and wash it or anything. So I'll toss that paper towel. Anytime the paper towel touches poo, I'll toss it. Because this is a little bit more poo buildup here, I'm going to take it to the bathroom in a second here and show you how we do that. And oftentimes when you lift the newspaper up, there might be some poo stuck on the bottom. If there isn't, that's okay. You could just put a new piece of newspaper in. But if there is, you'll want to wash it, and I'll show you what that looks like now. So we're just going to go ahead and dump the old paper, and we're going to take both these to the bathroom. Okay, now here in the bathroom, I like to keep everything as separated as possible. So I will have a dirty tub here for me to sit this stuff on, and I'm going to clean this tub real quick. I do have a leopard gecko sponge that is dedicated for only leopard geckos. That sponge you see there is dedicated just for snakes. They sit in different corners of the tub because you don't want possible cross-contamination. And because some of the poo gathers at the drain and splashes up, I'm gonna rinse this tub in the rest of the shower before I put it down. So I'll turn the actual shower on. I'll rinse usually the bottom, then the inside, and then here's how you prevent further splash. When I dump it, I'll dump it onto my hand so that it doesn't splash up and potentially contaminate this tub anymore. And so I have a clean resting place, which goes right here. And I do the exact same thing with this. We're gonna hit it with the sponge and also rinse it down there. Now you can see me kind of splash that. Because this is not gathering a whole bunch of water and then dumping it, there is not a lot of splashback that comes up. So I just rinse it underneath the drain and pull it away real fast to make sure that none of the water splashing up gets it, and works out perfectly fine. Haven't had any health issues since. Now, kind of the last thing I want to show you is our drain plug. And so this drain plug catches all the poo, the shed, the feces, mealworms, everything in it. And this is just the cheap one from Amazon, the screen metal. I feel like it works the best compared to like those fancy, complicated plastic ones and whatnot. So eventually when this fills up, you could bang it out in the toilet and flush the toilet, or you could dump it into a trash can in the bathroom. If you dump it into a trash can in the bathroom will start to smell. So I would suggest just banging it out in the toilet. Anytime I touch that drain plug, I always wash my hands with soap and water because it might have parasites or bacteria on it. Okay, now since this thing is pretty full, I just want to show you how I do it. So I'm going to bang it out here, kind of on the side, lower to the water. Get out as much as you can. And if you want, you know, there's going to be a little bit of stuff gathered around here. You could just rinse it down the drain. Go ahead and flush. Close that back down. Wash your hands with soap and water. And I always get in between my fingernails too real quick. It just makes me feel like I'm getting it cleaned better. Okay, now actually this is one of my favorite parts. I have 3 chemicals over here that I use to keep the shower as clean as possible. So we have 100% bleach, which can be bought from any food store, Amazon. You have hydrogen peroxide, which can be bought from any food store, Amazon. And Dawn dish soap, the blue kind. Dawn Ultra, it's awesome. It really scrubs up a lot and gets rid of grease and grime. So periodically, as I'm cleaning throughout the day, I'll take some Dawn dish soap, sprinkle it in the tub, and that's basically pure Dawn dish soap there. And you could kind of wash it down the drain. Put the shower on, let it sud up and all that good stuff. Now you don't really want to use these chemicals all at once because it can create a really strong aroma. But after the soap is washed down the drain, you could do it with the bleach. Just kind of spray in the tub the bleach. Now bleach makes the bathroom smell really, really good. Like really clean. Wash it. Let it wash down the tub, or better yet, you could let it sit. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna wash it. Now you wanna go onto Amazon and find some chemical bottles that don't leak, because so many bottles, especially the cheap ones, they leak, and you don't want bleach leaking all over your hand, or hydrogen peroxide, very strong chemicals you don't want sitting in your reptile cage if it happens to leak out for some reason. Hydrogen peroxide is one of the only known chemicals that will do the best against killing crypto. Now because I use that sponge to actually clean reptile poo, about once a day or every so often, I'll actually spray it with hydrogen peroxide. Now I'm just gonna leave that hydrogen peroxide sitting there while I shoot the rest of this video, but you don't wanna get that hydrogen peroxide inside your gecko's tub in its pure form. You want it all washed out of your gecko's tub. Okay, so I need to do a whole nother video on this in the future, but Cryptosporidium is a parasite that is incurable in reptiles, and for the longest time was known to dwell primarily in leopard geckos. The little cysts or the eggs of crypto can survive outside of the leopard gecko's body for 6 to 8 months through burning, freezing, and the worst conditions possible. So bleach doesn't kill it, soap doesn't kill it. Your best chance is hydrogen peroxide, and even then, there's still a really good chance that the eggs will survive. So that's why I go through that whole process that I just showed you about trying to keep contamination at bay as much as possible. Any sick geckos automatically get quarantined, or unfortunately they get culled, which is the appropriate putting down of sick leopard geckos so it doesn't spread to the rest of your collection. That's something you just have to do as a breeder. And another thing too, while I was shooting the video in the bathroom, this little one escaped and I was moving stuff around the room to try to find him. So you might want a lid if you're going to be leaving the room. Now, I never really leave the room long enough to where they actually like make it under a rack. They usually just plop on the table by the time I get back from the shower. But because I'm shooting this video, I couldn't find her for like 5 minutes. I was looking everywhere and I found her under a rack. All right, I love this feeling here. Now, this is one of the reasons why I love plastic tubs for leopard geckos. You can get it oh so clean. You know, no crypto fears as much as you can in this hobby. No coccidia fears, any parasite fears. I will take these little pre-cut newspapers that I have and I will plop it in, push it down with both hands and kind of push it up against the wall. And you can see how it fits. You want the paper to come about 3/4 of the way up the wall. That way, if they poo in the corner, the paper contains all of that poo and it's less cleaning up for you to do. Now, because this one is about to lay eggs, I'm going to give her a little bit more eco earth than this. If the female's about to lay eggs, you want to fill it up about halfway to 3/4 of eco earth. You want to spray that eco earth down really, really good with water. Get in there, like if you push the water close to the eco earth, it will shoot down in there and it will get nice and wet all up in there. Put the lid back on and put this in. So just a quick intermission to show you what I'm using here. I love this. You can get this from Walmart. Not all of them are the same quality. So I would recommend this one. The brand is called Eliminator 2-gallon heavy duty sprayer. I've tried other sprayers before that were heavy duty and different brands, like the Walmart brand or the Home Depot brand. They stink really bad. They just leak a lot. The parts aren't that good. So this is my go-to. I will only buy this from now on. So I usually have this off to the right side, depending on what side of the room I'm cleaning, since I'm righty. And now look, this is looking pretty good right here. So since this is a pregnant female, like we mentioned in our last video, we're going to give her 1 tablespoonful of worms, which is probably just about 50 or 60 worms. We want all those worms to get coated with our calcium vitamin mixture So I'll put a lot in there, maybe even a little bit more, because they're going to eat this, and this is how they gut load themselves. And I've just started doing this recently, but the hole is in the middle here. It gives them a little bit more floor space. I'm going to put the bowl right up top. And even if the bowl slips down, they will find a way in. And so far, I haven't had any tipping over problems with the bowl. Now, if it's covering the hole a little bit too much, you can move the hide forward a little bit and then push the bowl back. But I can see right here, this hole is not a problem. In the future, I'm going to start cutting the holes far into the corner of the front of this, so this can basically just sit flat back there like that. But for now, I just kind of sit it right up on that lip and it's perfect. And of course, we have these 3-ounce souffle cups. You can get these from webstaurant.com and you can toss them every week. I think they're about 1 or 3 cents per cup. And for adults, this is pretty much untippable. 1 out of every few adults might tip it every once in a while. But if you fill it up, for the most part, it just evaporates and then it's fine. You don't really find it tipped over too much. Now this leopard gecko is ready to go. We already know she's ovulating. It's a little hard to see, but the more I bend her belly back, you can see a pink dot right there. So I'm going to put her in there and we're going to mark her with one of these red clips. So these red clips tells me that she's ovulating or expecting eggs, so that when I'm looking amidst this massive room with all of these geckos, I could tell which geckos I need to check for eggs based on their codes. So I'll show that in another video. Instead of scanning every single ID when I'm looking for who's due for eggs, I could just be like, oh, okay, Lamo F38. Let me look for the clip, and then let me look for the title. Bold F25, clip, title. Or this one, bold F32, clip, title. And so we're gonna put her away. Make sure the lip is sitting flush so we get no escapees. And this might look really confusing, but it works for me. She's bold 32. And as you can see, I wrote so big, so there's not enough space right here to write another female in. So basically what we have here is, in red are the females. So our Afghanicus females, white and yellow females, bold females, black knight females, so on and so forth. Lemon frost females, tangerine females, Turkmenicus females, fasciolatus females. And oftentimes, since I don't have a lot of Afghanicus going, I just write random stuff in here or excess. So this girl is bold 32. Female 32. So I'm going to write bold. I could do BOL. I know what that is. So that's bold F32. I'm going to star her. She's going to get paired tonight. And I will write which row and column she's in. She's in B2 because the B stood for babies. These were all babies that were growing up that are now breeders. So tonight after cleaning, I'm going to go through that whole chart and I'm going to look at all the geckos that need to be paired. From that, I can make attempts for geckos that will pair, and I could leave geckos on the board that will not pair. Sometimes they don't pair and you have to try a different day. So what did you think, guys? This is how we clean leopard geckos over here. I'm really detailed about making sure there's as little bacteria or contamination as possible. But when you're working on scale like this, it's very important, because if one leopard gecko has something and you happen to touch it with your hands and then you touch another leopard gecko, you could easily spread that contamination. So just to be safe, I take all the precautions that you saw in this video, and so far it's worked really well for me. So again, this was another topic that you guys wanted to see. Please leave a comment below with more topics that you would like for us to cover. I write them all down so that I could cover it for you and with you. So I thank you guys once again for your support. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you next time, and remember, have a geeky gecko great day. Peace.